Okay, so I want to pull everybody back together here. We're, you want to grab a glass of wine or food, do, but water, that's fine too. So let's have a seat here. We got to quit talking and get this thing on the road so that we can stick with the schedule. Otherwise, we run out of time. So, I want to thank you all for, thank Sensei for showing up here. Sensei, and before you talk, I just want to say something, Sensei. Come over here. We have Cynthia Shelton here said that she has Maura. Is it Maura?
Maura.
Maura
from Lompo.
Lompo took one of your classes, took one of your coaching, said it was the best that she's ever had.
And she wants to go back.
And she wants to go back, so I just want to thank you for just doing it.
Well, great, thank you.
Okay?
Even Michael said that, right?
That's right.
But it's the only class he ever took, right? I love Michael. He's a
At
good
least
guy.
you took that one, huh?
It's a good one.
All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Oh, come on. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, welcome to the RIA here. It's a pleasure being back. And you know what I love coming out here is one, I love Dan and his family. Great family, very warm, very just high integrity, what it boils down to. And so we'll chat every once in a while on the internet and, you know, trade tips and tactics and such. And I've really grown to their family and enjoy what they present here. Tonight, we're going to mix it up a little bit. I mean, a lot of people come out and they'll see me speak about wholesaling, or they'll see me talk about rehabbing properties. And last week I gave a big presentation on purchase options, the creative financing side of lease options, owner financing, subject to, and using land trust to the investor's benefit and such. But tonight I'm going to actually break down a little bit on the markets and what's happening across the states and talk about how we can be the ultimate investor. Because right now, most people, well, I don't want to say most people, your investors are half and half. You've got investors that are building portfolios, you've got the other investor that's looking to build a business. And so you got to decide if you're kind of fumbling around which niche you want to go into real estate. Well, to me it's easy to figure out. Are you looking for a paycheck or are you looking for a portfolio? Because most people are looking for paychecks. And if that's the case, you've got to buy and sell to create cash. And if you're looking to build that portfolio, then you need to buy and hold to create that wealth. A lot of people love buying and selling. I love buying and selling. That's exactly how I got started back in 1995, was buying and selling. In fact, I had a very busy year that year. 1995, my wife and I got engaged. We moved in with each other. We got married. We had a baby. Bought my first house, refinanced my first house, and bought my very first investment property in Fort Myers, Florida, while I was living here. Now, I was looking for that investment property to actually fix and flip. So that's a whole lot in 1 year, isn't it, ladies? Yes? Well, that's just kind of how I roll. But it is a lot. And what I've learned is that, you know, I needed paychecks at that time. I already had a business going. It was doing well, but I also knew that it wasn't going to provide the financial security that I was looking for when I decided to retire. And I want to decide to retire, not to be told to retire. So one of the vehicles that I thought would be best would be real estate. Because honestly, in 1995, 94, 93, I was looking to get into another business venture, and that was coin-op car washes. I thought, what a great business to get into. All cash basis. Hire a senior to come out for 2-3 hours to fill the soaps and clean up the place, and basically the only utility bill that I got is power and water, and it runs 24/7. It's a cash machine. Well, here's the problem that I ran into. Everywhere I went to find out how I can build one of these coin-op car washes, I had to learn about the real estate. What's lease to suit? How do I rent? What if I got the structure? What if I buy? Because they all have so many different dynamics. Here's the ultimate thing that I learned. He who owns the land owns the business. And I said, ooh, I love control. Let's forget that coin-op car wash thing. Let's get into the real estate. Because I want to control my business. And any business on the land, I want to control. So in 95, I started flipping properties. And here's the cool thing about flipping my first property. It took 9 months, and I got a $9,000 check in net profits. Now, that's not a whole lot of money, but it was to me in 95. And to me, that was an easy, passive way to make some money at $1,000 per month. So I took that money and rolled it right back over and flipped my way through, Georgia to Texas to finally reach the Gold Coast and doing a lot of properties in the Long Beach area. With that, I had a lot of people following me around, wondering what is Sensei doing, flipping properties? How is he getting this? How is he doing that? He's living a little bit better lifestyle, and how can they get involved? So 99 people started following me, started teaming up, doing deals. In 2002, I opened up my first real estate, back in 2000, I opened up my consulting firm, Black Belt Investors. 2002, I opened up my first real estate club, which we just celebrated 11 years last month. And then in 2005, I opened up my second real estate club. And today, Black Belt Investors is proud to say we're doing over 1,700 properties per year. So we've really kind of rolled that little tiny snowball into quite something. And it's just been a phenomenal ride. Not only that, our investors come to us either to build that real estate business and or build that portfolio. If you're someone like me, you're going to want to build both, right? So tonight I'm going to talk about the different markets and the easy steps to leverage time and money with real estate. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick a color. Whatever color stands out most to you, I want you to lock your eyes on that and pick that color, but only one. Who in the room picks yellow? Anybody pick yellow? Oh, 3 of you. Okay, well that basically means you're organized and analytical. Who in here's picked red? 3 of you. Well, intense and ambitious. Is that true? Is she intense and ambitious? He's laughing, so it must be. Who picked green? Oh yeah, you picked it because I pushed it first. You saw intelligent, huh? I saw that. Okay, it means you're intelligent and balanced. Who picks blue? Anybody? That basically means you're obsessed with trucks and beer. It's a little fun. There's 10 principles when it comes to real estate investing, and basically you got to become educated. There's a lot of educators out there. You can pay high dollar for education, and you can also get it for free. Point is when you're getting into a business, the thing is, I don't like people going out and buying a bunch of boot camp, buying a big package and spending 50 grand on that. I don't like people going and getting stuff just for free. What I enjoy seeing people doing is consulting with someone in the niche that you're thinking about getting in. So let's say, for instance, if you're going to be a rehabber, then find someone that's actually rehabbing properties, so they can take you under their wing and teach you, whether it's for free or you have to pay for that consultation. There's no need to go out there and buy some big guru's package and you get 10 boot camps of mobile home parks, land, commercial, wholesaling, rehabbing, because you know what that's like? That's like going to Las Vegas, going in the buffet line, picking up a big plate and say, I'll take a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, because you want to sample everything. You take it back to your seat, you sit down, and you want to eat it, but you don't know what you have on your plate anymore because it's all starting to blend together. You know what you do with it? You wasted your money, you wasted your food, you end up throwing it away. You're confused. So again, it boils down to, do you need a paycheck or do you need a portfolio? It's not what we want. We all want riches. But what is it that you need right now?
Paychecks.
Okay, so then for you, you're going to buy and sell. Some others in here are going to buy and hold. And so what you need to do is get educated. You don't have to know everything about everything, but get the basics down, and then have someone like Dan or myself to where we can give you some checks and balances, to where you can bounce ideas off, so that way your portfolio is always optimized. Number 2, investments that you can control. I love control in my investment business world. Okay? It's funny, I can control my business, I can control my employees, I can control clients, I can control a lot of things, but I can't control anybody in my house for some reason. I just can't get that. My kids don't listen to me, my wife doesn't listen to me, but everything else has got a lot of control. But when it comes to investments, I want something that I can control. A lot of people invest in stocks, nothing wrong with that. A lot of people will invest in their 401k, which is probably now a 401k, right? Some people invest in mutual funds, but are you in control in those investments? You're not. You're handing your money over to someone and saying, please do the right thing and give me a good return on my investment. You would absolutely have no control whatsoever, except for cashing in or cashing out. With real estate, you can control it. You can go see it. You can fix it up. You can rent it, you can do whatever you want with it. In fact, the banks even know that real estate is the best investment vehicle. Because whether it's a great market like 2005 or a really bad market like 2008, the last time I remember, I can still walk into Bank of America and they're still giving loans on houses. You walk into Bank of America today and you ask for loans because you're going to go buy $100,000 worth of stocks, they're going to laugh at you. They don't loan money on stuff like that because it's such a high risk. So investments that you can control. 3, affordability factor. People always ask, where should I buy my investment properties? I'd really like to get this commercial unit over here, or I'd like to buy over here. But really what it boils down to is the first question I have for you. What can you afford? Because then that will point us in the direction of where you should go. So if someone says, hey, you know what? I can afford, if I have a vacancy, of $700 a month. Fantastic. Let's go buy somewhere where your mortgage is going to be $700 a month. For an example, Kansas City, Missouri, or Indianapolis, or in Phoenix. Because I don't know of any mortgages around here that's going to be about $700 a month with 20% down. It's going to be a lot more than that. Affordability factor is huge. Because when you do have a vacancy, and you will, when you do have repairs, and you will, you want to be able to stay afloat. You don't want to sink in sand like everybody did in 2007 and 8. Do not gamble, no projections. There are investment companies out there that will sell you things that look good on paper, on what we call performance. We don't buy on performance, everybody. We buy on actuals. What is the property doing today? And that's where we'll start our negotiations on the price. Not what it could be in a year, not what it could be if you fix this and you fix that and increase the rents. If that's the case, Mr. Landlord, why aren't you doing it yourself? We buy on actuals. I don't know about you, but I know for me, I don't like to buy retail. I like to buy things at wholesale, whether it's a flip or if it's a buy and hold. So don't gamble. Get the numbers and buy in the actuals. Number 5, diversification. Big. Now, my father-in-law, my grandfather, really big investors, love to invest. But they only invest in their own backyard. Is there anything wrong with investing in your own little area? No, but I have a problem with that. If I have $500,000 to invest, how much of an investment would I actually buy in Santa Barbara? One, where I could take $500,000 and I can move over to Cleveland, Ohio and buy in good neighborhoods just like Santa Barbara, turnkey for $45,000 a piece. Now I've just divided up that $500,000. $45,000, that's going to give me what? That's going to give me 10 properties over there. That's like owning a multi-unit, with the exception I'm not sharing walls in common, and if I decide to liquidate my property, I don't have to liquidate all 10, I can liquidate one here or one there. Better exit strategies. Diversification is big, because when you are investing your money in real estate, and the shifts of the real estate cycles turn, or the economy turns, something is going to give you an impact, whether it's for the positive or negative, on your real estate. So I'll give you an example. Let's take the tri-states of California, Phoenix, and Arizona. I'm sorry, Phoenix, Arizona, and Nevada. Those 3 states there. When the markets were appreciating really well, which of those 3 states appreciated first? Nevada. Nevada skyrocketed up. And as that started to get to the top, Arizona came in second. And then came in third was California. It went in waves, is what it did. And you know what? We're all 9 months behind each other. Now, here in California, when we were starting to go down in 2007 and 8, there were markets like North Carolina, Charlotte, they were just shooting up in 2008. They were like 12 months behind California. So what's important is that I plant my real estate like I'm planting crops in different areas that make good number sense, that give me lots of diversification in the economy, local economy, in the affordability factor and the strategy factor. So that way, when there are shifts in the cycles, I've got a really good balance going on. One's up high, one's down low. It shifts. Now these two balance out. This one goes up high, and this one goes down low. Versus my grandfather that just invests everything in the Sacramento area. Because when that market hit, everything went down. So diversification is key. Number 6, be impartial. Don't say, oh, Oklahoma, that's no good. No, Oklahoma's good. You're not living there, Joe. You're just investing there because you want a cash machine. We pick areas because of the numbers, not just because it's cheap and I can get a lot of house for my money and because I get good rents. No, numbers are going to include the economics that are happening in the area. Is it a linear economy or is it a diverse economy? What's the rent ratio like the home ownership in the area? What does the history have shown us in regards to appreciation, the values of history? So be area impartial. Number 7, invest where there is need and demand. Do we have a need and demand in California? Yes, we do. Southern California, Central, Northern California, need and demand. What about Las Vegas? Absolutely. Big need and demand over there. Phoenix, for sure. You know where all the need and demand are right now? Is where the hedge fund buyers are. Hedge fund buyers come in and they buy everything up so the homeowners can't get something and the single investors like you and I, can't get things. So it causes this frenzy, it dries up the market, and now there's a demand. And so appreciation kicks in. Now, hedge fund buyers, the big ones, have already left California. They left Phoenix. They left all the primary markets, Las Vegas, some other markets across in the Sun Belt area, and now they're hitting the secondary markets, such as Kansas City and Indianapolis and St. Louis. And now they're creating a demand and a need. Invest in tax-favored assets. Last I checked, your stocks or your 401k doesn't really give you a whole lot of tax-favored privileges there. But real estate does. And a lot of your real estate professionals, your business professionals, your white-collar workers, invest their hard-earned money into real estate so that they can reduce their ordinary income. Who's heard the statistic 97% of millionaires out there is due to real estate? Has anybody heard that before? Wrong. It's wrong. That's how they've retained their wealth. Their money came through their cash machine. Let's say Bill Gates. Did he get wealthy because of real estate? Or was it because of windows? It was because of windows, but where does he plant his money? Or tax-favored assets? Where does he plant his money so that it can double and triple and quadruple in short periods of time? Where does he plant his money to retain that wealth? In real estate. That's where he does. Cash machines, income streams, businesses that generate you paydays is what's going to be able to where you're going to be able to take your money, parlay that over into real estate, and start building your empire. Number 9, use a time-tested professional team. Time-tested professional team. I got a little pet peeve. I'm going to be honest with you because, I'm just kind of a straightforward guy. I've been in the business for a little bit of time, right, since '95. Dan's been around for a long time as well. And back in 2007, I had a company come in from Chicago to my office and do an internal audit. And I wanted them to give me an internal audit on my business to find all the cracks to where we can seal them up and become a stronger company. And so one of the things that this company did is they did a market analysis in regards to how many real estate clubs are out there. 2007, in a 60-mile radius, we had 109 clubs. Ooh, that's a lot, right? 2 of them were mine. Now, 2008, by the end of 2008, there were 9 of us left. 9. 2 of them were mine. 9. You had your bigger clubs like Phyllis and Sam Sadat and people that hung on. Why? Time-tested professional team. understands how to roll with the punches in any type of real estate market. That's key. Now, how many clubs do you think are within my 60-mile radius now? Over 110. All jumping on the bandwagon within the last 2 years. Be careful. Because Dan mentioned earlier, you can lose a lot of money. People take money. Find out who you are investing with. Know who they are. Or not even if you're investing, getting educated by. And make sure they're able to roll with the punches, whether we're in a good market or a bad market. Number 10, invest with strategy. You want to know what the number one strategy is in investing? No? Okay, I'll go to number 11. Know how to get out of it before you get into it. That's my number one strategy. How do I get out of this investment before I ever decide to get into it? I don't want to be stuck. Do you want to be stuck in an investment? No. So you need to know how to get out of it before you get into it. So let's say, for an example, Detroit. I've never been a Detroit investor. Never. Why? Linear economy. What does that mean? Only one source of income, really, and that's the automotive business. And if you've been around for a while, you know that business has been up and down through all the recessions, hasn't it? When it's down, everything falls apart in the city of Detroit. That means I'm going to be fighting for my rents. That means my values are constantly falling through the bottom. It's not my type of investing. So if I go spend $100 grand in investments over there, am I going to be able to get rid of those properties if I need to liquidate? The answer is no. I'm not going to be able to sell it for what they're worth. You'll have to wholesale it to another real estate investor that doesn't know better. It's the only way you're going to be out of it. So you want to get into an area to where if you need to liquidate, you can liquidate. And that's important. So, we all know about the real estate crash, right? Subprime borrowing, how they're moving all this paper along and selling it in bulk and just messing everything else up. The real estate speculation of everything climbing up. In fact, what crashed a lot of the real estate market is not just the subprime borrowing, but investors that were flipping properties strictly using these loans and banking on appreciation. So let's say, for instance, Florida. Florida today is still about 14 to 16% vacant, by the way. Did you know that? But people are buying over there. It's okay in certain areas, but some areas is not. But what I mean is that they'll go buy this condo in Orlando, for an example, and they'll spend $300,000 on it, and 6 months later it's now worth $400,000 and they're flipping. That is the highest risk in real estate, is flipping strictly off of speculation and appreciation. No. And a lot of people got caught their pants down. And Florida hits the hardest. Okay? So, real estate speculation. Initially nationwide, and now it's become very localized. So we've got a lot of markets that are on the comeback. We still have some markets that are falling apart. There's a lot of markets in Illinois that's still going down. Certain areas across the state still going down, while others are now on the rise and some are just kind of leveling off. So everything's become very localized. And now you got Wall Street in the business. Right? They're now real estate investors. Banks are now real estate investors. We used to like to say, for many years that, banks, they don't want your property, they just want your payment. No, they want your property. Okay? They want your property because they want to be able to collect as much as they can off the appreciation and ride this great wave since they lost so much money on their non-performing assets. So timing is key. Now, if we take a look at the U.S. appreciation second quarter of 2013, we'll go back to 2003 over here, the second quarter of 2013. This is nationwide, okay? So this is a national graph here. You can see that, I'm not sure, do we have a little laser on this? Yes, we do. So you can see here that, national average, everyone, is about 6.5% to 7% in appreciation, national average, okay? And we're just slightly above that right there, back in 2003. And you can see it climbed up to about 10% here nationwide, but when it fell hard, and now it's just jumping right back into place. And so we've got some markets, like California, it's 22% right now. We've got some markets in Phoenix, let's say for instance Phoenix, last year was at 33%. Jumping back. Why? Because they hit so hard, it's like taking a Super Bowl You remember kids, we used to have those black balls called Super Ball, and you throw this thing down and shoots right up? That's exactly what's happening. So the markets that got hit the hardest, your diamond states, really got hit the hardest, is the ones that are bouncing back the fastest. And so, very localized because we don't have this type of appreciation in all areas. But your primary markets, the markets that got hit the hardest, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Northern California, Southern California, certain areas in Texas, Detroit is now up in this area right here, bouncing back, okay? So we'll take a look at this map here and you'll see what I mean. Your primary, or your diamond states, everybody, is Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and California. That's your 5 diamond states when it comes to real estate. It's where most of your investing goes on, okay? And you can see that these areas are in blue, and you know, when we had the recession, Texas got hit, but they didn't get hit hard like Florida and these states over here did. But the blue is basically saying from 9.4 to 22.8% appreciation right now is what's happening. Well, second quarter, I should say, which was just a few months ago. The areas that are not doing so well are in the red. You know, like I mentioned earlier, this is Indiana, you know, the northeast over here. This is all the Midwest right here. And so we have some Midwestern states that are on the comeback and some that are just kind of still sliding down. And then here you've got the lighter blue, which is anywhere from 4.8% to 9.3% appreciation rate. So you can see as a whole, we're actually starting to come right back again in the real estate market. So if you're not really understanding how we can forecast and time markets, here's a real estate cycle. Basically, we've got this line, that's our flat line, right? We've got our flat lines. What we end up doing is we end up going through an expansion stage. An expansion stage would be like 2003, 4, 5, and 6. That's our expansion stage. Are we in an expansion stage right now? Does anybody know? Not yet, yes, no, I say no. We're almost there, okay? We're almost there in certain areas. But I personally say no. An expansion stage is going to be right up here. Now, here, most of your real estate investors that didn't know what they were doing were buying right in this area right here is what they were doing, okay? Where our wholesalers are always buying over here, down here, and in here. So we'll go through this wave here of oversupply, so we start crashing. We hit a recession, we hit the bottom of the barrel. Here, the bottom of the barrel in California was like 2009 and 10, and then we started coming back in this recovery stage. So right now, I'm going to say that we're right here in this recovery stage, just getting ready to start expansion. Now, how do I know we're not really in an expansion stage right now? Well, is anybody a real estate agent in here, realtor? Actually working right now? Doing active, okay. So, if you're working with clients, buying a house, is it difficult finding properties available for your clients? Yeah. Yes, okay. The majority of markets, the answer is yes. And majority of these home buyers are out there targeting properties. Are they targeting new builds or are they targeting existing properties? Existing properties. Why? Because they can still buy below builder's cost. Okay? What's that? Well, yeah, for you guys, but you can go a little bit south and you will, right? You can go a little bit south and you will. So you have these buyers out there looking to buy the short sales, the standard sales because they're below builder's cost. You can get more bang for your buck than actually going to a new build. Because if a new build is going to cost $500,000, then more likely you can get a property that's going to cost $425,000 and you already got granite, you already got landscaping in the back versus the new build. Now, we're having builders like in the Inland Empire, the upper deserts, the Los Angeles area, Northern California starting to pull permits again. And those frustrated buyers that are looking for houses that can't get any houses are resorting to two things. They give up and they throw their hands up in the air and say, forget it, I'm not looking anymore, I'll continue to rent. Or they end up buying a new house. That's what they're doing. Okay? But we haven't reached that mark yet where the builders are really pulling on a consistent basis. Now here's the psychology of the real estate market. Now I know this is small, so I'm going to read it off for you. Here's 2003, optimism. Everybody's like, hey, this real estate thing. This sounds really cool. Maybe I should learn something about it, try to make some money as well. 2004, enthusiasm. They're getting all hot and tickled, right? So now they're really jumping into the real estate market and say, oh look, I can qualify for a loan. And I don't even have to prove my income. Amazing. So now they're getting loans and stuff. In 2005, exhilaration stage. Oh man, look at me. I now